you so much for your company. Now, you're going to have an opinion on this one, because we certainly have this morning, haven't we? Couples that bank together stay together. Yeah, not quite sure if that's how the saying goes. Yeah, I think that was meant to be. But it is a conundrum that couples up and down the country face every day. Should they share a bank account?
Is it the natural next step as a relationship develops, or is it right to want to hold on to your own financial independence? Do the pros outweigh the cons? A faster growing account versus a difference of spending habits. It's a very interesting subject.
That's a very good point, actually.
Got quite different views, but I quite...
Yeah, so is joint banking the key to a long and happy relationship? Well, joining us now to get to the bottom of this is psychologist Dr. Louise Goddard-Crawley. Very good to see you this morning, Doctor. What are your thoughts on this one? If you're in a long-term relationship, should you be sharing a bank account?
The answer is it's not that simple. It all depends on what beliefs you have about money. So we all have a certain set of beliefs which then drive our actions and thoughts about money. Now, money isn't just about currency. It's symbolic of so many things. It probably starts in childhood. What was your experience of money? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did it create conflict? So then coming into adulthood, we have those set of beliefs which drives how we then decide whether to have a joint bank account or not.
That is so interesting. It is so personal, isn't it? I think a lot of it does hark back to your childhood. I even think between me and my fiancé now, we've just got engaged, we've always had separate finances. I like shopping, probably a little bit too much.
Do tell us more.
So we have different spending habits. So that's probably why we've kept it separately, and probably wise that we've done so. But I think now we would maybe look to have a joint bank account.
OK.
But then if we do have different spending habits, would I need to change my ways?
What are you talking about it? Are you guys...
We are, yeah, we're quite good at talking about money.
When you're not sure what to do, don't do anything.
Don't do anything, keep my money.
Just wait
spend my
for a
money.
minute, then decide what you're going to do.
Whereas you're quite old-fashioned and romantic about it, aren't you? He's like, lump it all together. What's yours is mine.
I think it's a discussion. I think you're very right, you know. It does depend on upbringing, so, you know, some cultures think that, you know, you should always keep your own money, some think you should all be together. So there is part of that. But as you grow older, you start to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
I know with Emily at the start, I had different views to what I've got now. I mean, we don't have a prenup. And we've got children together, so I mean... But we had a discussion before we got married, actually, and I knew I was going to stay with her forever, so I was like, well... It's all going to stay in the same place anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I think we're constantly evolving, aren't we? Over time, our priorities, our expectations change, so that conversation has to keep going, really, because in 20 years, you might be in a different place financially from one another. So it's about transparency, it's about expectation, but really it's about talking. And really, actually, the key is empathy. It's understanding your partner's position in and where they are with finances. And
not getting offended, because I think a lot of people, if they are talking about keeping their finances separate, I guess you'd worry about offending your partner.
I think as long as you're transparent, because you could be, your position could be, I don't want to be transparent, but be transparent about not wanting to be transparent, if that makes sense. So it's just about open dialogue.
I mean, you have to understand, though, if somebody has come into a relationship and somebody has... you know, created something before meeting you, you can understand someone being a bit scared.
Or protective.
Or protective.
Yeah.
But I think, and out of this conversation, I have realised that's probably when you have children, that whole attitude changes, because actually you're one unit. You are one unit when you get married, but much more so when you have children, so you've got a bit of time.
Thanks.
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, got time on my side. Yeah, it is different when there are children involved, isn't there? Because, I mean, not that this is going to happen in your case, but if the worst were to happen and you were to divorce, then there would probably be a 50-50 split anyway, but they're not. So
it's for the children.
It becomes different. Yeah, it becomes the children's money in a lot of ways anyway.
Well, that's true. That's true. But again, it's an evolution, isn't it? The relationship changes when children become part of the equation. So again, transparency, empathy, communication.
And I guess as well, boundaries are really important, aren't they? Boundaries are really important to set, especially if you have things like different spending habits, as it would be in my case.
Well, that's the thing, the belief about money. What does money symbolise to you? So for me, money is fun. It's about experience. For my partner,
I feel the same way.
It's about saving. It's about longevity. So it's interesting.
I mean, we're going to want to hear from people. We'd love to actually hear your views on this. I guess one of the things I'm thinking is, do you think that certain cultures will be adamant in generations to come to stick to the way that their generations had taught them? Because, you know, again, some of those cultures remain in that culture.
True.
Obviously, we were brought up with a Greek family and we had our own culture, but I grew up in the UK and Australia, and so you see how everyone else is and it changes. Do you think that's a big, important part of it, of where you are?
I think it's really difficult because society's changing so much, isn't it? Like, those traditional roles don't look like perhaps what they used to look like. So, difficult to say.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we really would. Dr. Louise Goddard-Crawley, thank you so much for your time. Really good to get your thoughts on that. You will certainly have a view at home. Are you an old romantic like Pete? What's yours is mine. Lump it all together. That kind of...
No, it's what's mine is mine and what yours is mine. Isn't that how it goes?
I like it that way, yeah. But, or do you like to keep things separate? Do let us know what you think about that one. gbviews@gbnews.com. We would love to hear from you on that or any of the stories that we are talking about today.